Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. This could be possibly my last editorial for this year. So, on my last editorial, let us talk about 5 political events that happened in 2022 that could have an impact on the political future of our country. Let's get right into the show. Okay, for starters, disclaimer. Disclaimer is, this is what I think, my opinion. So, a lot of you may agree, a lot of you may not. Number one. Number two is, there are a lot of other events that has happened. Lots of events that has happened. But I have picked up this 5 because this is what I think will make a difference in the course of political events for our country. So, that's the point. So, my first event that happened in India is Bharatiya Janata Party, Yogi Adityanath winning Uttar Pradesh. Winning the Assembly of Uttar Pradesh. That's the first political event that I think will make a difference to this country. Now, let me tell you, Bharatiya Janata Party won 5 states in 2022, which includes Goa, Uttarakhand, Manipur, Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat. Okay, so they have won 5 states. Congress won 1 and AAP won Punjab. So that was the scorecard of 2022 election. That all said, the reason I am talking about Uttar Pradesh is Uttar Pradesh and the win of Uttar Pradesh, that is getting 255 seats out of 403 seats in Uttar Pradesh, created a new hero in Bharatiya Janata Party. Earlier on, Bharatiya Janata Party was a single hero-driven party, and he had his number 2 in Amit Shah, that is Modi, the supreme hero, and the number 2 as Amit Shah. With 2022 Uttar Pradesh win, you saw another hero, that is Yogi Adityanath, another person who had the same ideological belief, who had the same political narrative, who had the same action plan, that what was practiced by Narendra Modi all his career and more. So you had someone who was, if you can call it, Narendra Modi plus. In advertising terms, you would say that. Narendra Modi plus. His speeches were more direct than Narendra Modi. His actions were more direct than Narendra Modi. And he too was seen as a person who was a go-getter, who would want to perform, who would want to deliver. So he was seen as that, but he was also seen as a person who could be kind of ruthless when he has to do his operations, when he has to do his administration. So he was seen as Modi plus, and therefore a new star was created in Uttar Pradesh. Now this star is now being projected by his supporters as possibly the next prime ministerial candidate or the future prime ministerial candidate. Let us not talk about next prime ministerial candidate, but a future prime ministerial candidate. So all of a sudden, this Bhakt of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah till recently could be a competitor to Narendra Modi and Amit Shah in the future. That is what Uttar Pradesh election did to Yogi Adityanath. That's my event number 1. Now let us go to my event number 2. The event number 2 is AAP. AAP, after their victory in Punjab and after the 5 seats they won in Gujarat, AAP became a national party. Now, why did I say that AAP is going to be an event that will make a difference in the future? Is because AAP is going to be a party that will always put Congress in trouble. AAP will always be ensuring that Congress has to guard its vote, is because most of the places where AAP is going to compete against Congress, and I believe that AAP is going to be a serious, at least they are going to be from their side, they're going to make serious attempts in the general election. AAP is going to make serious attempts in the general election, and AAP, the party that actually AAP is going to harm is not BJP at all, it will be harming Congress. So Congress now has a new adversary in AAP. So Congress already have Bharatiya Janata Party and now AAP. So that's what AAP, being a national party, is going to do to our political equations in the country. I don't think AAP is going to make any major impact in 2024 as a national party, or going to have some major seats in the Lok Sabha as a national party. I don't think all of that is going to happen, but it will definitely have an impact. It will definitely take away votes from Congress. So that's my story number 2. Now let me talk about my event number 3, my story number 3. My story number 3 is NDTV takeover. There was one channel who had the guts to be a national broadcaster, to be a mainline television channel and talk not so pro-government till recently. And recently we saw a takeover. Some call it hostile. Then that hostile takeover became very cordial. And then finally the money was paid to the Roys, and Roys handed over the shares to Adani, and everything ended very cordially. Chances are most of their senior, at least Ravish Kumar has resigned. I am told a lot more are going to resign in the future. This is what I was told. I don't know. But that is what the news in the industry is. And while Adani says that nothing is going to change, management is going to be different and editorial is going to be different. I hope it is that way. But if it isn't, then the last possible man standing is gone. Okay, so that's what NDTV. So another thing, the difference that it is going to make in the future is the concept of independent television that possibly my generation got to see the best, because we saw Doordarshan era, then we saw independent television era, and now in the future, if things change, chances are the coming generations in this country may not be able to know what independent news agencies are all about, what independent news reporting is all about, and what freedom of expression is all about. So that's what NDTV takeover has done to our future. Now let us get into our 4th event that could change the future of this country. The 4th event that could change the future of the country is appointment of D.Y. Chandrachud as the Chief Justice of India. D.Y. Chandrachud coming in as a Chief Justice of India, it has already created a rift between the legislature and the judiciary. The office of the Law Minister of India and the office of the Chief Justice of India. The rift has already started showing. People say, I estimate that this rift is only going to widen. The Chief Justice of India is going to establish his power, and the Law Minister is going to try to ensure that the government has a say in most of the decisions that the judiciary says. Like they have a say in most of the central agencies that is under the government's purview. This is what is going to happen. Now, the reason I think this is going to bring a change to this country is because a strong judiciary could put an end to a lot of political tools that are currently practiced to win elections. A strong judiciary can prevail upon a lot of central agencies that currently are not working for the people of this country, but the political masters of this country. A lot of that could change. And a lot of that could change possibly in the next 2 years. So this is an important point, and I would like you to look out for this particular change that could happen in the next couple of years in our country. And possibly that would be a good change for our country is what I would believe. So this is my point number 4. Now my point number 5. A pappu changed into a leader. A man who was called Pappu, a man who was called a Shehzada, a man who was called irrelevant, has now possibly become one of the most talked about man in this country. If you take a dipstick survey right now, Rahul Gandhi would be definitely second most popular person in this country. This Pappu will be the second most popular person in this country. 2022 created a leader in India. 2022 created an alternative in India for sure. Whether that alternative therefore will alternate and be an alternative or be an option or be the next prime minister and all is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying a clear alternative is being created. The only point I wanted to make here is, you see, now people who formerly used to call him Pappu and Shehzade and all has to be called and asked as to would they be able to gather 5 people around them and walk 50 kilometers? Forget about 3,570 kilometers. Can they gather 10 people around them and walk 50 kilometers? If they can, then they should be the first person to call him Pappu. Otherwise, it will be shameful to call a person Pappu who has really actually activated the entire country. Every inch of road that he walked, he has actually gathered. There was a sea of people there to receive him. So that's what happened in 2022. These are the 5 events that I think made a difference in 2022 and will make a difference in our country's future. That said, have a great new year, have a prosperous new year, have a peaceful new year, and have a healthy new year. Till I see you next time in the new year, that's on Monday at 10 p.m. Namaskar.
Hi, you have been watching our videos on HW News English. But why be content with content in just one language when you can choose from both? Yes, from 1st of January, we are bringing together the repository of our ground reports, interviews and analysis under the umbrella of HW News Network. So, while HW News English will stay as it is, you will now be able to watch our Hindi and English reportage together. So don't forget to watch HW News Network from 1st of January.
To know about the latest updates on our new news app, go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.